Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Sarva Maharshibhyo Namaha. At the end of the Gita, the Lord questioned Arjuna, "Is your delusion removed and ignorance destroyed by the message of the Gita?" 72nd Shloka. Kachidetachrutam partha tvayaiకాగ్రేణ చేతసా kachidajnanasammohah pranastaste dhananjaya. Substance. Has this been heard by you, O Partha, with a concentrated mind? Has the delusion of your ignorance been destroyed, O Arjuna? Commentary. As a physician who at the end of his treatment asks the sick man if his illness is cured, so also the Lord questions Arjuna whether his teaching has removed the delusion of ignorance. Ignorance of one's own real nature is the disease from which all mankind suffer. Ignorance creates delusion and man forgets his real nature. The wise man who knows his real nature, who feels that he is not the body but the glorious Atma, frees himself from all suffering and sorrow. Ekagrena chetasa, one pointed mind. Concentration is essential in every type of work. A divided and distracted mind cannot achieve anything good and useful. The mind acquires power by concentration. If the waters of the lake are disturbed, there cannot be clear reflection of the surrounding trees. A mirror cannot reflect a moving face correctly and clearly. So also, if the mind is unsteady and disturbed, there cannot be a clear reflection of the reality, Atma. Therefore, the Lord questions Arjuna whether he has heard the Gita teaching with a concentrated mind. One should study the Gita with a concentrated mind. Only then he understands its meaning clearly. This is no doubt an elementary principle in the study and understanding of any subject. More so in the study of the Gita, which contains the highest spiritual truth. The student has to be extremely alert and concentrated in mind. Ajnana sammohaha, the delusion of ignorance. Delusion is the effect of ignorance. A man sees a rope and mistakes it for a snake. This is delusion. Here, delusion clouded Arjuna's mind as he saw his relations and friends who stood opposed to him on the battlefield. The Lord's teaching cleared the delusion. Pranashtaha. A potent medicine destroys the illness completely, leaving no trace of it in the body. So, also, knowledge destroys ignorance completely. The spiritual teacher takes great care of his disciple and will not be easily satisfied till he has grasped his teaching. He will not be contented till his disciple is completely freed from the last trace of ignorance and bondage. Such is the compassion that great masters have for suffering humanity. Dhananjaya. Formerly, Arjuna had acquired wealth and fame by his heroism and victory over innumerable external enemies. Now the time has come for him to vanquish the inner enemies of delusion and ignorance. This indeed is a far more difficult task, but Arjuna has all the necessary equipment and the guidance of Sri Krishna himself on the way to spiritual illumination. Question. How should Gita be studied? Answer. It should be heard or studied with one pointed mind. Arjuna answers the Lord's questions. 73rd Shloka. Arjuna Uvacha Nashto Mohaha Smritirlabdha Vat Prasadanmayachyuta Stitosmi Gata Sandehaha Karishye Vachanam Tava. Substance. Arjuna said, "My delusion is destroyed. I have regained my memory through your grace. O Krishna, I stand firm, free from doubt. I will do according to your word." Commentary. with heart swelling with joy and happiness. Arjuna says that his delusion is destroyed by the teaching of the Lord. When Arjuna arrived on a battlefield, his mind was distracted by 100 doubts. He could not decide what to do and how to act. He was perplexed and confused. Delusion dimmed his intellect. After hearing the Lord's message, his delusion was destroyed. The Lord's medicine cured Arjuna's disease instantaneously. The Lord Himself is the master, and a devotee like Arjuna is the disciple. No wonder that Arjuna directly perceived the truth and his heart was illumined with knowledge. Spiritual knowledge is to be tested by personal experience. It is not mere talk. Arjuna felt the force and power of the Lord's teaching. He felt a glow of the heart arising from the knowledge. Arjuna stands as a representative of common humanity. The Gita message, which destroyed Arjuna's ignorance and delusion, is an unfailing cure for destroying the ignorance of every individual and helping him to realize the highest spiritual truth. Smriti Labdaha. After hearing the Lord's teaching, Arjuna regained the memory of his true self, which he had forgotten under the shadow of temporary delusion. The delusion being removed, he remembered his real nature. He realized in a flash that he was neither the body nor the mind, but the ever pure and ever perfect Atma. Atma is the ever present reality in every being. The man who is conscious of this truth is a gnani, and the man who forgets it is an agnani. That is all the difference. But once being conscious and or non conscious of the reality does not make any difference at all for the ever present Atma. It is there all the time, during all the states and conditions which overshadow man's life from time to time. If a man who wears a chain around his neck forgets it and goes about searching for it everywhere and at last discovers that it is all along with him, he is not said to have gained anything at all. His memory is revived and he finds the chain where it was throughout his external search for it. So, also, having forgotten the truth that he is Atma, man goes through all the troubles and sorrows of life, and at last he comes to know that what he thought to have lost was always there with him, and he is that Atman. Such is the experience of Arjuna in the present situation. Shankara says, Atma tu satatam prapto ह्यप्राप्तवाद avidyaya तन्नसे प्राप्तवाद bhati स्वकांताभरणम yata atmabodha. The meaning of this verse is explained earlier in this paragraph. Tvat prasadat, by your grace, God and Guru are essential factors in self realization. It is by the grace of the God and Guru that the seeker realizes the truth. Without such grace, no amount of individual effort can remove the darkness of ignorance and delusion. The Hindu religion was therefore prescribed regular worship of God in various ways and also service of the Guru in every possible way. By the grace of the God and Guru, the bonds of Maya are broken and the seeker attains freedom. Arjuna here declares this ancient truth. By the grace of the Lord, Arjuna threw off the shackles of delusion, realized his original nature. Achyuta, the word means one who does not fall from his original state. This address of the Lord is very appropriate in this context. The Lord remains ever pure and ever perfect, and He alone can lift man from the dark pit of samsara. Gata sandeha, free from doubts. In the state of ignorance, man is beset with innumerable doubts. When self is realized, all doubts and delusion are finally removed. They do not appear again in any form whatsoever. Karishye vachanam tava. I will act according to your word. Thus says Arjuna after hearing the message of the Lord. His doubts are removed. He realizes that he is no other than the ever pure and ever perfect Atma. The wrong notion that he is the body is removed by true knowledge. And so he says that he would act according to the will of the Lord, free from all doubt and the bondage of ignorance. The seeker should always remember that the Master's word is final in all matters. He must have such faith in Master even after self realization. The conduct of Arjuna throughout is a perfect example of the disciple's attitude towards his Master. Question: how did Gita message benefit Arjuna? Answer: his delusion was destroyed. He recovered memory of his original state as Atma. Question: how can man overcome the delusion caused by ignorance? Answer: by worshipping God and serving wise masters, man can overcome all difficulties on the spiritual path.